the UFO reality can no longer be denied. In 2017, the New York Times broke a front-page story about a shadowy government program.
Pentagon had this secret UFO monitoring agency which nobody knew about.
Don't ask me, because I'm not going to tell you.
Instead of answers, we've been given a new narrative. The UAPs are not ours or any foreign governments.
Then the question is, whose are they?
You can ask the questions, but who are you going to ask them of? And you've got to make sure you're asking the right people.
There are many things that are out there in the ether that aren't officially brought to our attention.
How would it have to be officially brought to your attention? I'm bringing it to your attention.
Sure.
Do you expect to see real answers in this report?
Honestly, I don't think so, Jake.
Memorable quote in that is, technology not of this earth, not made by man.
That's a profound moment.
There you go. That is the movie Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations. It's available on Amazon right now. We are talking to the director, and he's also at the Mutual UFO Network. Ron James, how are you, brother?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Congratulations on the documentary. Again, you can watch it on Amazon. So we got a few minutes here. You got to convince me, Ron. I don't think aliens exist. I don't think UFOs exist. Where do you start with someone like me?
Well, first I'd start by telling you to watch the movie. It really is a primer for people like you that don't have either a lot of understanding or a belief in the topic, because unlike a lot of other films, this movie lays out real evidence, government documents, witnesses. We have one of the guys that actually ran one of these secret programs that finally came out, and his credentials are impeccable. And all of the people that you're seeing in today's headlines, Tim Burchett, Gary Nolan, Ralph Blumenthal, who broke this big story about government programs in the debrief, Dr. Michio Kaku, the famous physicist, they're all in the film, laying this out in a historical manner, just like a lawyer would lay out a case. And so it's very compelling. And then also I'm the media relations director for MUFON, and we're the Mutual UFO Network. This is a worldwide group with over 7,000 members, 700 plus active field investigators. We've been studying this for years and years, since we're in our 55th year. We have over 150,000 cases that are documented. Now, as far as trying to convince you from the ground up, very few scientists at this point will say that there's no life in outer space, that we're the only living beings in the galaxy. And so not believing in aliens is definitely on the wrong side of even most scientific conjecture at this point. Now, not believing that they're interacting with humans or that we have any kind of contact with them or that they can get here from vast distances in space, that's justifiable at this point, but there seems to be a lot of evidence to the contrary. And so, you know, to not believe in aliens, the first part, well, there's probably life in outer space. Most people agree. So you might want to take another look at that. Now, not believing that we're being interacted with or that they're coming here or that they have a footprint on our history, there's a lot of evidence that's coming out to the contrary. MUFON, the why would they come such great distances to plant a crop circle or to crash in Vegas or to swing by and then zip away? What do you think their motivation would be? Well, there could be a lot of motivations for alien interaction. And the other thing is that the possibility that they're coming from another planet is only one option of many that are being discovered and talked about right now by mainstream science. There's a guy, Dr. Gary Nolan at Stanford, who invented a new way to do mass spectrometry. And he has admitted to me in the film and in public that he has been analyzing exotic materials that came from craft that could not have been made on Earth, and that is proven by the isotopic ratios of the materials. So, and more people are coming forward, including David Grush, who just said that, yeah, there's this whole catalog of government programs that have been studying this stuff for years. There's a mountain of evidence to support this, and more of that evidence is going to come out. So there's a variety of different possibilities for why they're coming here, and there's a variety of different possibilities of where they're coming from. But at this point,
can you help? Like, can you give me like one? Like, what do you think is one of many reasons why they would come and then just zip around and leave?
Well, we don't know that they've zipped around and left. You know, these objects that we're seeing that you believe are current military technology. One of the people that comes forward in our film, Colonel John Alexander, admits that he was running a government program 40 years ago to study these things, and they were studying the same kind of craft with the same kind of capabilities. Now, you might say today that these things are out there and they could be our technology, but 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and in the era of World War II, we certainly didn't have the capability to create craft like this, and they have been around for a long time.
Okay, we only have 4 minutes. I hate it, but I want everyone to watch the documentary so they can get your full take. But I want to ask you this. One thing that I found quite striking was that whistleblower, what's his name, Gruff or Grush, or whatever,
David
the
Grush,
most recent whistleblower, Grush. We wanted to have him on the show, but he needed to be approved by the Pentagon in order to do an interview. What kind of whistleblower needs Pentagon approval in order to talk about top secret, deeply covert stuff? If not, this is indeed actually a Pentagon propaganda campaign to get people to believe that there are UFOs for some reason.
Well, if there wasn't such a history to support the story that he's telling, then we might be a little more skeptical. But the fact of the matter is, the new whistleblower legislation that was included in the Defense Appropriations Act, it covers people who know information about this to come forward and make statements, mostly behind closed doors, to Congress. Now, as far as just coming out and blowing classified information at a press conference at the National Press Club or on a television show, the legalities of that have not been worked out. So there is still jeopardy to come from doing something like that. So although the door is open for whistleblowers right now to come forward and say what they know, the actual fine print of that is not defined in such a way that would allow him to just come on and start flashing classified material. But the fact that he's actually not being disavowed.
I think they would just kill him. Like, if this guy was really leaking this super deeply, profoundly classified information about life, they would just be like, sorry, man, you're dead. You're gone. We're not going to have anything to do with you. Not, I guess we'll have to let him go on the first TV next Wednesday. Like, that seems weird.
Well, here's the thing. The people that have been managing this secret, and they do exist, they've been managing this at a very, very deep level. Our modern day politicians, most of the people in the Pentagon, not read in. Very few people understand what really went on. Very few people are left that have the entire bird's eye view. However, because of changes in technology and the way we're progressing, the information about the existence of whatever this is not something that's going to be kept a secret for long, because it's becoming more and more obvious. And so the powers that be are allowing a certain amount of information to come out under a new narrative that absolves all these people from the sins of the past, for lack of a better word. And what David Grush is doing is coming forth and exposing the fact that, yes, we do have these things, and yes, there have been these programs, and yes, they are so secret that even a president can't get read in fully in modern day. And if this was just coming out of the blue, we'd be like, okay, that's hard to believe. But the problem is, what he's saying is supported by 70 years of evidence, thousands of eyewitnesses, the lab results from technology. MUFON is in possession of a Freedom of Information Act request that acknowledges that the government is in possession of exotic materials shot from UFOs, recovered by the Department of Defense, and studied at a very specific laboratory, and what those materials are and what they might be capable of and what they're made of. We have these reports. It was given to us by the Defense Intelligence Agency, and we published them in the movie. So you might be on the wrong side of history, Mike.
I got about 30 seconds. What do you think aliens look like?
Well, that's anybody's guess. People think that there's different species of aliens. And as we state in the film, what's our definition of life? We just think we're these little carbon creatures here on planet Earth, and that must be it. There could be creatures that are energy-based. There could be creatures that are physically based. There could be AI robots that are sentient. There could be little green men from Zeta Reticuli. The idea of what do aliens look like is as broad as saying, well, it's a universe full of billions of galaxies. What do you think the population looks like? There's probably millions of different types of variations of life in front of us, and that's just in the physical universe. We're not even talking about the nature of reality and consciousness yet.
Ron James, Mutual UFO Network, And the documentary Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations is on Amazon right now. Ron, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. Thanks so much for watching that clip. If you want to see more truth like that, please subscribe to the first YouTube page. Just hit subscribe below.